Hello dear friends, today we speak about strategic brand management and one of very interesting development of branding, what we entitle as Brand Archetype Portrait and Brand Archetype Power. What is this? About what we are going to speak with you. First of all, I'm marketer Professor Kakhaber Djakeli, and I want to introduce you to the world of innovations in strategic brand management, what is established by me and my colleague, Professor of Kennesaw State University, Sheb, and I want to speak about benefits of such new establishment in strategic brand management. What about we are speaking? First of all, I want to say about strategic brand management and its main stages. We know that strategic brand management started in 1985. First of all, it was only marketing mix. This was first stage, only marketing mix. The second stage, what was established after that, it was already the concept of identity. The third stage was concept of freedom of the brands from their owners, from their manufacturers. And the fourth concept or fourth stage was established by Keller, who wrote that brands, they have personality, they are like persons, they have their destiny, they have their some kind of character, and this was one of the best and interesting way to understand what brands will do in future. So this was fourth stage. The fifth stage, as we know, was brand as a product of community, as a product of culture, and as a product of mass culture, and mass culture as a manufacturer of the brand. So in these kind of concepts, we see how brand becomes independent, how brand tries to fight for its own freedom and step by step goes free. So right now we have this kind of question. We know that all relevant persons, if person thinks that he is or she is relevant, all relevant persons, they want to have portraits. They want someone to paint their portrait. What is portrait? Portrait is not only painting, it's deep analysis of spirit of the person through colors and different forms. Portrait of Winston Churchill, portrait of different kind of kings, queens, these kind of portraits, all times they are try deeply analyze the person, try deeply analyzing all the brand, because these persons, they were also brands and they remain to be brands today. So we say that sometimes friends, colleagues, relatives, followers and peers, they order portrait of their distinguished partner. So to establish portraits we need meaningful symbols. What kind of symbols we want to use in brand archetype portrait? These symbols can be archetypes of Carl Gustav Jung. As we know from Jung, archetypes defined as a forms or images of a collective nature which occur practically all over the earth as great type of the myths and some kind of legends, and they are well positioned in the brain of all humanity, and all humanity understands these symbols really very well, and this is benefit of archetype portrait, that everybody understands archetypes really well. So, implementing brand archetype portrait concept in strategic brand management, we think and we believe it will be necessary stage during branding and rebranding in the process of brand building and strategic brand development. So, in future, all brands, they will have their strategic brand portraits. So yesterday I asked to one great and interesting digital painter to paint for me brand archetype portrait of McDonald's. According to our research, on the principles of our research, this kind of painter, his name is David Gabunia, is really wonderful digital painter. He painted for me the portrait of McDonald's. So this was unusual, interesting. This was great. I think in future, when world will know the concept of strategic brand management through brand archetype portrait building, all of big brands and their followers and their marketers will establish portraits of these brands and will analyze these portraits. The brand archetype portrait abbreviation is BAPOR, BAPOR. So we decide to calculate also brand archetype power BAPOR. So brand archetype power, and establish brand archetype portrait. So the brand archetype portrait of some product, services, some kind of brands is a set of associations of customers towards them in the form of archetypes of Carl Gustav Jung. The brand archetype power can be the sum of scores of winning desired brand archetypes on the basis of econometric and simple calculations. But to establish brand archetype power or brand archetype portrait, we need perception mapping, and we need perception mapping accelerators and desired perception attributes turned into archetype attributes of brand, and this kind of logical flow of this route can be the following. P and A, this is perception mapping accelerators. DPA, this is some kind of desired perception attributes, and AAB, this is so attributes of brand, archetype attributes of brand. So right now we understand what we are doing by the piloted brand perception research scenario. We used experimental research designed to understand final customers through key researchers. And we did this, and we are proud to establish this kind of brand archetype portrait and brand archetype power. So right now I will explain how to find perception mapping accelerators, PMA. Some rules of our research to understand human perception and find perception mapping accelerators. You should go customer. You should make yourself hungry. If research is about fast food, you have to make you hungry, but not only, you are busy in the same time. If perception should be viewed from the points of students, for example, and we took students because students, they were our researchers in Coles College of Business at Kennesaw State University. So students, they had not enough time, not enough money to go and eat, and that's why they were so deciding about which kind of brand to choose very fastly. So what are perception mapping accelerators? We divide them into two types according time span: long-lasting and sustainable perception. For example, the fact that the game Lego is good for child creativeness. This is sustainable and long-term perception. But the second, short-lasting perception, appearing in the case of need, demand or want, and disappearing after some period. What is short perception? So this is like it's based on perception mapping accelerators or some immediate drivers making us to engage into consumption, like immediate drivers. They try to take into consideration the perception mapping accelerators. They are consumer drive oriented activities, feelings, attitudes, making person to choose one want, creating impulse, so among thousands of others, and is based on immediate associations of sensor-based stimuli, economic stimuli, and cognitive stimuli. So what else we do? What are desired perception attributes? How to find them? If you are hungry, busy, and no hedonist, you have two options. Be more utilizer, routinize your wants until next happier time and go to fast food. But which? Here starts phenomenon of your perception mapping accelerators. A choice. 1. You want some taste of beef. The masculine food makes you more energetic things today. After classes, you are student. After classes, you will sleep well, but you don't want fat, rich hamburger. You want real meat. You are hungry, and smell of cheap file blinds you. You deny beef. But okay, let it be chicken file. Let it be chick file. It will be great, big. What one student want more. So students, they engage very fastly into such kind of perception, and they feel themselves very happy. So in perception mapping accelerators, student decides very fast, too fast. Taste of big meat, to feel fullness, something like fast grilling. You energize yourself. After that, you are okay, just go and eat. So choice B, be less utilizer, less routinize your demand. Give little chance to your dreams. You want something colorful, like you traveling and watching different cultures. Now about your perception mapping accelerators. You want to eat many things together. You have passion to beans, onions, or some other kind of things. You think to choose something very colorful, what is offering you some kind of great choice of mix different things to each other, and this should be very big food. And so you understand that such kind of food you can find in Taco Bell. So the perception mapping accelerators, they are wonderful and they can used well, and they should be tuned into desired attributes. So the brand, as we know, is the intangible sum of products, attributes, its name, packaging, the price, its history, its reputation, and the way it's advertised. A brand can have 4 important characteristics such as attribute, benefits, values, and personality, and some kind of attitude of customers towards them. Brand choices linked with brand associations, how to manage brand personality, how to save brand and make it not to be hijacked by someone to wrong direction. Our hypothesis is that strategic brand management on human receiver level can be done by special tools using Carl Gustav Jung's archetype. If some person thinks that he or she is relevant, orders to paint portraits. So the same we do right now for our brands. But what is really great thing? It's great thing that Carl Gustav Jung established 12 archetypes. But these 12 archetypes are divided into 4 subgroups of archetypes according cardinal orientation of them. So that means that each 3 archetype has one big cardinal orientation. So these cardinal orientations are freedom. Second cardinal orientation can be social. The third cardinal orientation is order. And the fourth cardinal orientation is ego. So it's interesting. It's really essential that freedom works really well for some kind of groups of archetypes. For example, a very famous archetype of outlaw has cardinal orientation freedom. Very famous archetype jester has the same cardinal orientation freedom. So explorer has also the same cardinal orientation freedom. So for example, caregiver has social cardinal orientation, and lover and every man or ordinary man, they have also the same cardinal orientation. Rulers, innocents, and sages, they have the same cardinal orientation. That means that all kind of rulers, all kind of innocents, and all kind of sages, they have the same orientation to have order in their hands. And the last 3, this is hero, creator, and magician. So they have ego-oriented cardinal orientation. So these cardinal orientations, they are really wonderful. They make us to turn perception mapping accelerators into desired perception accelerators, into archetype attributes of brand. We need following action. Through focus group marketing research to realize what cardinal orientations we see in studied brands. In our research, we try to understand cardinal orientation of following fast food brands: Taco Bell, McDonald's, and Subway. According to the concept of cardinal orientation, we should take into consideration the fact that not all archetypes can be assessed with the same scores, to their cardinal orientation. Classical archetypes fully representing the cardinal orientation are assessed in our matrix. And gathering focus groups, marketers should ask their respondents about what cardinal orientation they see in their target brand, what kind of classical archetypes represent these cardinal orientations, and what are percentage of different archetypes in Brand Archetype Portrait of studied brands. According percentage of BAPOR, and percentage of some kind of BAPOR. This is our abbreviations. They speak about brand archetype portrait and brand archetype power. We can do really great things. Right now we started to do brand archetype portrait of McDonald's. McDonald's, according to marketing research, has cardinal orientation to order. The main archetype of cardinal orientation of order is ruler. Main archetype represented by 66% according focus group members, mostly studied and mostly analyzed among groups of students in business schools. The rest, 34%, is given to 5 other archetypes. This is innocent, sage, magician, and jester. So that means that when we watch brand archetype portrait of McDonald's, we see that the biggest share is a ruler. Looks like big ruler. So an innocent has only small slice of the cake. So sage has also small slice of the cake. And magician or jester, they have also the same size sliced forks. So in McDonald's, ruler plays most important role, and that's why to paint the brand archetype portrait of McDonald's, you should see ruler, because people see ruler in the brand of McDonald's. So, and McDonald's has also a lot of other associations, and these other associations, they play also great role to build brand archetype portrait of McDonald's. So what about brand archetype portrait of Taco Bell? So it's interesting that brand archetype portrait of Subway is oriented to cardinal orientation, what is ego. Customer thinks to eat fast but to feed her body with some vitamins. This is typical ego. The ego cardinal orientation has classical archetype hero. It has 77% according focus group. We used here in this research, and we asked them questions and they answered on our questions, and they said that they watch this kind of hero in the brand of Taco Bell. So other kind of archetypes we see also in Taco Bell, but we can say that, like, first of all, hero and caregiver, they have very big part in the brand of Taco Bell. Right now let's speak about brand archetype portrait of Subway. So Subway has hero archetype, creator archetype, and other kind of archetypes, but hero archetype is 77% in the brand archetype portrait of this great brand. So when we paint the portrait of brand Subway, we take it into consideration. So different brands have their distinct cardinal orientations. In this orientation, they must be strongest. So when we speak about cardinal orientation, we should not forget what Carl Gustav Jung told us, that 3 brands, they have 3 archetypes, they have 1 cardinal orientation. And one of them is most vital. And this most vital plays really great role in fullness of cardinal orientation. So Taco Bell's cardinal orientation was, we told, some kind of societal brand, Subway's cardinal orientation was ego. So, and archetypes, they played very distinctive role in this kind of brand archetype portrait of Subway, Taco Bell, and other kind of brands, McDonald's in our case. Marketing pilot research project started at Kennesaw State University together with the students of Coles College of Business. It was finished successfully, and we have the concept of brand archetype portrait and brand archetype power. So it's interesting how this concept will be developed in future, and we try to do together with our friends, together with our colleagues, new interesting innovative approaches in strategic brand management, and especially continue to do brand archetype portrait of all brands, all distinguished brands, and brand archetype power. We want to measure to all distinctive brands, all relevant brands, and we want to publish this information to try to attract people's mind in this very interesting type of, well, developing concept of new type of innovative type of strategic marketing management. So according to these words, I want to wish you very nice, colorful, great week, and make you to think about your brands and think about the archetype portraits of your brands, what really shows great meaning of the brand and the customers, and what is really representing ideas of customers, even subliminal attitudes of customers towards brands. Thank you very much. Wishing you great success.